Hi.
Uh,
Hello.
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 Oh, hello. How
Can
are you doing?
I am
Hello, can you hear
doing
me?
well. I can hear you. Yes. My name is Sylvia. What's your name?
Oh, my name is David. Nice to meet you, Sylvia.
Nice to meet you. David, where are you from?
Uh, I'm from South Korea. Where are you from?
Awesome. I am from the United States, but right now I'm actually living in another country. I live in Ecuador in the Amazon rainforest. So,
Wow, that sounds pretty cool.
yeah, yes, it is. I live in a very small town. Maybe 1,000 people live in this town. It's really small. And we are
Oh,
in
I
the
see.
middle of the jungle. So if I could turn my computer and let you look out my window, you would see the rainforest.
Wow, that'll be so cool. So, yeah, you
Yes.
said you live in the jungle. Is that right?
Yes, we live in the jungle. I can find some pictures for you. Yes, we live in the jungle. So, what is the weather like where you live today?
So today, it was kind of foggy. No, I would say there were a lot of cloud, and it also rained a little bit. I mean, not too much.
Oh,
And it was
so
pretty cold.
cold. Okay, so where you live, do you have four seasons like summer, winter, spring, and fall?
That's right. We have all four seasons: spring, summer, fall, winter. What about there? Like, I'm pretty sure.
We
Yeah.
don't.
Oh, you don't?
Okay. We don't. Okay, so here I have some pictures I can show you. So this is right down from my house. I don't know if you can.
Oh, yeah. I can see that. Wow, it's so
So
beautiful. So you can see
yes.
that view out of your window.
So no, this isn't out my window. If I walk down the road, right down from my house, this is what you can see. So if
Wow.
you were to
Yeah.
my window, it is just lots of trees and lots of plants. It's really thick jungle. So, where I live, it is so hot every day, and we only have two seasons. We have the rainy season and the dry season. So, it's the same temperature every day, but in the rainy season, it rains every day and it makes it feel a little cooler. So right now we are in summer, which is the dry season. So it is hot. It is 95 degrees Fahrenheit today.
Wow, 95 degrees. That sounds pretty, hot.
Fahrenheit. Yes, I'm probably sweating. It's hot.
Yeah, like, is there air conditioner in your house?
No, there's no air conditioning in Ecuador unless you go to, like, the airport has an air conditioner, and sometimes if you go to a bank or a hospital, sometimes they'll have air conditioning, but no, we do not. We have fans and we open our windows, so it's really hot all the time.
Oh my
but
God, that sounds very hot. I mean, so
but
so I
I
live in a
am.
city called Daegu,
Yes.
and the highest degree in Daegu is, I think, 38. But even it's 38, I mean, I can live without the air conditioner. But you said it's 95-degree, and how can
So
air conditioner?
you sweat a lot. It's just really, really hot. And one thing here is people will get up and they will, like, if they have work to do, they'll do their work really, really early in the morning before it gets really hot. And then in the afternoons, most of the stores and places will close and people will go home because it's too hot to work. So Do you use Celsius, right?
Celsius. I
Celsius?
think. Well, I'm not really sure. What is that? Well, can you type that for
Okay,
me?
so for example, I am using Fahrenheit. So 95 degrees Fahrenheit is the same as 35 degrees Celsius. So I think you use Celsius. So that's
Oh,
the
I
temp.
think yeah, I use Celsius.
Yes.
Yeah.
So today it is 35 degrees Celsius today. So
Oh, 35 degrees Celsius. But yeah, it's
Celsius.
still hot. I
It's
mean,
hot.
super hot.
So do you have air conditioning where you live?
Yeah, I think everyone has the air conditioner because so I live in a city called Daegu, and Daegu is a pretty famous city. It's a pretty big city, so yeah, there are air conditioners. But by the
When
way,
I
you said you don't have air conditioners, but I can see that yeah, you said you live in jungle, so there are a lot of mountains, I think. And is it
yes,
is it cool in mountain?
there are a lot of mountains, and where I live, like there are lots of mountains, but it's really hot. So in Ecuador, we have three parts. We have the coast, which is the beach area. And then we have the Sierra, which is the Andes Mountains. And those areas they're a lot cooler. So if we were to go to the Sierra, it might be about 15 to 20 degrees Celsius. And then we have the jungle, which is where I live, and the jungle is the hottest part of Ecuador. So when I lived in the United States, we had air conditioning. And so it was really hard to move here and not have air conditioning when it's really hot.
Oh, I see. But by the way, like I want to ask you, like, why did you move to Ecuador from United
Why?
States? Like, is it for your job or
It's for
on?
my husband's job. Yes. So in August of 2021, we actually moved to Costa Rica for 9 months. So we lived in Costa Rica for 9 months, and we were full-time students learning Spanish. So I speak English and Spanish. And when we finished and graduated from language school, we moved to Ecuador. So we've been here about 6 months. And we will go home and visit our family in the United States in May of 2024. So we have a year and a half before we get to go home and visit family. So it's hard.
Oh, I see. Well,
Would you
yeah, I think
ever
it's
want to
different.
live in another country?
What's it? Can you say that again?
Would you like to live in another country, maybe?
Sure. Like, yeah, definitely. Actually, if I get a chance, like if I can, then I like to go for America or England for exchange student. I
Yeah,
really want to, live abroad and study at the same
yeah.
time. That would
I
be
think
really cool.
I think it's a really cool experience. You can go and visit places, but I think it's a little different when you live somewhere, even if it's only for like 1 year. I think you learn so much about other parts of the world, and it's a really cool experience. So maybe you could do that. That would be amazing if you could go
Yeah,
and live. Yeah.
that would be so amazing. Like maybe I can marry a girl from United States and I can live in United States. Yeah, that would be really good.
So if
And
you were to visit the United States, what part would you like to visit? Is there a city or somewhere that you say, hey, I want to visit there?
so yes, if I have to say about city, I'll definitely say New York
New
because
York?
New York is the most popular city in US. So yeah,
Yes.
I want to visit there because it is a popular city. So I'm pretty sure there are a lot of things to do, also a
Yes.
lot of different foods to try. So yeah, I would like
Yeah.
to visit New York. By the way, yeah, you're from America, and Like,
Yes.
I'm pretty sure you have visited New York, so can you tell me anything about New York?
I actually have not visited New York. So
Oh, you haven't.
I am from Alabama, which is in the south next to Florida or Miami. So, and New York is in the north. But my husband's uncle lives in New York City. And so when we go back home to visit our family next time, we are going to New York. And so I'm excited. I've never been, but if you go to New York, I think you should visit the Empire State Building. Do you know the Empire State Building?
Well, I just heard about it a few days ago when I have a technician class. I
Oh,
think I've heard of Empire State Building. We were studying about buildings technique, and yeah, my teacher talked about Empire State Building. So yeah,
yes.
I've heard of it. By the way, is the
This,
highest building in New York? I guess.
yes. So this is the Empire State Building. So you can see how big it is compared to the other buildings.
I know I can see that. Other buildings looks very small.
Looks small.
Compared to Empire State Building.
So
Yeah.
at the Empire State Building, you can actually take an elevator to the very top, and they have a glass area where you can walk around and look out over the city. So you should definitely do that. Of
Wow.
course, yes,
I
of
can
course.
maybe I can see the whole city in
You can.
on the Empire
It's a
State Building.
glass. It's kind of scary because the floor is glass. And so you can walk out and look down and so if you are scared of heights, you might not like it, but
Oh,
um
actually, I don't have a fear of heights, so I think I'll enjoy on the
yes,
Empire State.
you should do that. And then of course, if you go to New York, you have to visit the Statue of Liberty. So, of course, you have to visit that one.
I know.
Um I'm trying to think of anything else that would just be really fun. Oh, when I go to New York, I really want to see the September 11th memorial. So that is where the two towers were that were hit by airplanes.
Oh,
And
really?
so they have a memorial there, and I want to see that. So those I think are the top three things to do in New York City.
Oh,
But
I see.
David, I will tell you, if you go to New York City, New York is really close to a lot of other cities in the United States that are big, like Washington, D.C., the capital. So if you go to New York, you can pay like $20 and buy a train ticket, and you can take the train to Washington, D.C. It's only 2 hours. So if you go to New York, make sure you travel and see some of the other places too.
Yeah, actually I really like, traveling around. So yeah, I think that would be also pretty good, to see other
Yes.
cities. Yeah. By the way, I also heard that in New York there is also this is another famous place. So it's called Times Square. Like, do you also know anything about Times Square?
Yes, Times Square is very, very popular, especially at New Year's Eve. So on New Year's Eve, we have a big tradition in our country where everyone watches the big ball drop in Times Square. So they put this big ball up in Times Square. I mean, it's huge, and it's made from lights. And so every year in the last 10 seconds before the new year, the ball starts to go down and everybody watches. So people go to Times Square, and then like for my family, we don't live there, so we watch it on television. So if you were to go to New York in December, you should be there to watch the ball drop in Times Square. It's a really famous tradition in the United States.
Oh, that sounds pretty cool. Well, I've never heard of something like ball
Yeah,
dropping. So, yeah, that would be very interesting.
let me see if I can find you a picture. It's really cool. Okay, here I've got it. So it looks kind of weird, but it's this really big ball,
Well, yeah, I
and
can see that.
they put it in the middle of Times Square, and there will be thousands of people in Times Square, and then they show it on television, so people all over the country, we watch it, and everyone counts down to the new year.
Oh, I see. That's how they count. Well, yeah, that
Yeah,
sounds interesting. I think I also
yeah,
need to watch that, at least on television or something, because
yeah.
yeah, I really want to see that. Or maybe I can watch in the, Times Square when
Yes,
I
you
when I
should go
pop.
and do it in person. But you could probably watch, I'm sure you can find a video on YouTube or on the computer showing the ball drop. They do it every year for years and years. It's a really famous tradition. So,
Oh, I
what
think I need to check it out. Maybe after the class.
yeah, yeah, you should watch a video of the ball as it goes down. And after it drops, they have fireworks and a celebration.
Oh yeah, I heard that they have a firecracker. Firecracker goes off. Yeah,
Yes,
firework,
yes.
and
So
yeah, they celebrate.
those two words kind of mean the same thing. A firecracker would be like a smaller one. It's a little smaller. And then fireworks is like when you have the big show with the really big explosions. So, yes, they do a big fireworks show at New Year's. That would be
Oh,
cool
I see.
to go for New Year's. Yeah.